Good day, Claire.
Hello. How are you?
I'm good. How are you doing?
Yeah, good. Good. Actually had a nap. Got up, went back to bed again.
Ooh,
Still only like quite early, but I managed to go back to bed. So can't beat a
nice.
nap, I have to say. Can't beat a nap. So I've got
No.
a lovely. I've actually got a two word. We're on to two worder ones mostly, now, aren't we? So yeah, I'm on a two worder one, and it's letting go.
Hmm. Letting go. Yeah. Really, the first thing that popped to mind is the more we try to let something go, the more we grip onto it and hold it and actually make it bigger. But in the true sense of letting go, the is like putting now what are the kinds of things we want to let go? Usually it's something that we don't want. Usually it's something that we really do want to let it go. We want to move on or we want to stop something. And the only way I've ever seen that happen successfully, I'll say, is putting my attention on what I want, is turning my attention away from what it is that I want to let go. So if it's, what can I count? Like, fear, if it's fear about something, it's just like, well, if I'm trying to let go of a fear, right? And right now I'm struggling with, getting a rhythm going, consistency in something. And it's the letting go is letting go of the feeling that I have of being trapped. And so my letting go in this case, it's like, well, why do I want to do this thing in the first place? I have to look at like, what am I wanting instead? And then I got some ideas, because it's like, ooh, I do want to do this thing, and it'll just work so much better if I can do it on a regular basis. And then what came up for me when I looked in this different direction, rather than, oh, I don't want to do it, it just like try, and staying focused in what I want to let go. It was like, oh, I could do like seasons, or I could do it in, little like a project. Like, yeah. So I'm seeing these new things coming up, and it's leading me. It's sort of like clearing a path to what it is that I want, and away from what it was that I wanted to let go. Yeah. Letting go. I mean, really, the only thing that's really keeping anything at the forefront is whatever, thoughts. Like for me, it was around being trapped, and I just, that's all I could see. So yeah, interesting. I'm curious to see where what came up for you, where this topic came from.
Yeah, so I have just moved my daughter to her new home, which is what we mostly do. My daughter is move her to places. She's got a bike, so she's got to cycle to the little town. She's like literally in the middle of a field is where she's living. The house is there, and then it's just surrounded by fields. So she has to cycle to the main town and then get a bus the rest of the way to work. And so, yeah, I woke up in the early hours of Monday morning, just full of what if the bike gets stolen, and what just loads of problems that don't really exist. My mind is it loves a problem to solve. Like it's just gets so excited about that all the time. And so sometimes if there isn't a problem to solve, my mind goes, oh, let's make one up. It's just insane, really. And I noticed that I do find sometimes when I can't get back to sleep, like you said just putting your attention somewhere else.
Mm.
To get so sometimes I sing Twinkle Twinkle Little Star, obviously in my head, so I don't wake Bruce up singing 4 o'clock in the morning. He'd be like, "What the hell are you doing?" Or I just sort of say in on the in breath and out on the out breath, and I found myself. It was like, but what happened was I realized this clump of thinking was not helpful. I knew it wasn't, and so at that moment, it was what makes sense to do to be able to let go of this clump of thinking, because this clump of thinking is it's making my body feel very tense. It's making my mind whir, and I really am still tired and I want to go back to sleep. So I just ended up breathing in the word let and breathing out the word go, in my head, just let go, let go, let go. And I did go back to sleep. But that was almost like it was distraction, but it felt like it was from a different place, because before it would have been, I'm trying to silence my mind, or I just knew that train of thought wasn't helpful. I knew that it was hot. I needed to put it down. I needed to drop it because it was burning. It was not a nice piece of thinking. And then the thing that made sense to do was to just chant this little phrase in my head, and I did go back to sleep. So I obviously managed to let go of planning and organising this stuff that I didn't need to plan and organise. But then when I woke up in the morning, I kind of had this, Bruce and I often have these philosophical chats in the morning. We go for our walk, and I was saying, really, we let go. Letting go isn't, like you said, it isn't a thing to do. It's a thing that happens when we realise what's causing our suffering. Whether that's the behaviour, why do people some people suddenly stop smoking, don't they? They just go, I'm not doing that again. They just stop and they never do it again. And it's because they've realised something about, perhaps they suddenly can't walk upstairs anymore, and they're huffing and puffing, and they go, right, that is it. I'm not doing this. Or when I was a hypnotherapist, I worked with quite a lot of stop smoking stuff, and I worked with this one lady who, she just realised it was so inconvenient. She's like a first responder. They work for the ambulance. They have the little car, and they go first to whatever's happened before the big ambulance comes if it's needed. And she just said she had to kept finding places to have a fag. She's just like finding all these little lay-bys and stuff, and she just thought, it's just I can't be bothered with it anymore. There's like this sense of this is just a pain in the backside. And before that moment, she'd really just wanted to do it so much that she would have gone through the inconvenience, but she'd reached this breaking point. And I think particularly in this conversation that we have about thought and conscious awareness, that's when letting go, because it can become quite toxic. Well, just let go and move on. Like people don't want to put a punch on the nose. I'm not a violent person. It's like I was saying to my fiance, never tell a woman to calm down, Bruce, will you? Don't be doing. It's the same with, well, just let it go. Really? Okay. You try that when you really can't see. So often when I'm in that planning and mode, I can't see that that's causing the problem. I'm doing something really helpful and purposeful and useful. And we only can drop the thing. We can only let go when we realize it's burning us. Otherwise, we'll keep holding on to it. We'll keep holding on to that rubbishy thinking until we have to see that that's where the suffering is coming from. And then the letting go is not a thing that we do. It's just a thing where we just go, I don't need to do that. It's like realizing that some of our trains of thought that we get on are taking us to crazy town. And then we might suddenly go, no, do you know what? I'm not going to get on that train today. I want to go there. I know that's going to feel terrible. I know that's going to feel uncomfortable. And my caught up thinking about certain people's behavior and things like that, sometimes I see that and I go, no, I'm not going to spend my money on that train. I'm going to stay on the platform, just watch it go past. But that only happens when we can see that the suffering is coming from the train of thought. Until we see that, we'll stay on those trains of thought, innocently torturing ourselves, really.
Yeah. 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 I mean, I love your, your chant that you use. It's lovely. Like there's in the moment, there's so many, there's little things that can help. But when you were talking about like letting go of something, like with your hand, and it's like, what really needs to happen when we let go? And it's like a softening, right? Like when you relax if you're holding on to something, you relax the muscles in your hand, you relax your grip on it, your attention to it. And that's what all it is, really, is attention with our own thinking, our own focus. And it's, I like to, because I find it seems to be easier for people to have something to go on to. Like, just let go? What do you mean just let go? And it's like, okay, well, what would you like instead? And then it gives their mind something to do. Sometimes you just got to give the freaking little thing something to do. And it's like, okay, like what I did, right? It's just like, why? What's up with this? What am I looking at? And I was feeling like it was trapped. Like once I start this, it's forever. And I don't want to do forever. And it's like, well, what is it really? Anyway, so just looking at it, like, what is it that you're, really looking for? Or just knowing that all you, well, here's another thing that I'll do is like, if you only have this one, because your thoughts, your focus, your attention, it's single-minded, it's single. Even though we think that we can multitask, it's like that's not attention on one thing, so it jumps around. But really, when we're holding on to something, it's like our attention is focused, and the only way to actually experience something different is to like let it go. I let it go softly so it didn't bump in the mic, but just dropping the pen so I can reach for something else. And it's not even that you have to reach for something else. It's really that softening to allow space for something else to come up. Because even when I was asking myself, like, what is it? Why do I feel like this is going to trap me and I can't go there? And just taking my attention away from being trapped, going into the why, because I didn't know why. Then all of a sudden there was a softening. All of a sudden, like, there was something that came up. It's like, oh my God, like, because it's forever. I think it's going to be forever. And it's not. It's doing it how I want, in the rhythm that I want, until I don't want to do it anymore. And then I can say, okay, I'm not doing that anymore. Like, it can be that freaking simple, but it did not look like that when I was holding on so tightly to how much I didn't want to get into this, And it was like a letting go. It was like a letting go.
There's something about energy there as well. That whatever we're holding on to, the thought pattern that we're holding on to, does take a lot of energy, doesn't it? Thought. Like I noticing that when I've got into a spiral about something, usually someone, if I'm honest, and then I'll be like, oh, I really can't be bothered to do it. I've got this kind of energy. I don't want to do anything. I can't get myself G'd up to do anything, because it's almost like that thing has sapped so much energy, and I've put so much focus on it, and probably put quite a lot of focus on wishing it wasn't there. Oh, why can't I just stop doing this kind of thing? Beating myself up about it a bit. Yeah, and I'm just seeing that, it's just that shift of attention, isn't it? And it's that's like a shift of energy, so that actually those kind of thoughts could still be your thoughts of, oh, I'm trapped. They could still be kind of going past, but we've not got such a tight hold of them. And that thought might still come up, and you might go, oh yeah, look, there it is again. It's just kind of there. But there's a lightness to that, as opposed to when we're in the thick of it, it's like it's so real, isn't it? I mean, that's what consciousness does. It makes everything look so alive, doesn't it, in the moment?
Yeah.
But it's like an energy shift almost, isn't it? And that frees up, like you say, it frees up space. It frees up, energy to be moving towards something else, or moving towards just a different train of thought, really, in the moment.
And more space for something more helpful to come along, to put your attention to.
I wonder as well how helpful it is that for the listeners, that if you notice that you're caught up like that and in a train of thought that you kind of have got a sense isn't helpful, isn't feeling good, maybe as well there's that, that we'd like to talk about, just getting into the body and being present to the feeling. That might also help with, because when we're saying letting go, actually there really isn't anything to let go, is there? Because thoughts are transient anyway. They're not, you can't really hold on to them. You can't hold a thought, because it just becomes a thought of holding a thought then. So there is no thought. It's always moving. And maybe sometimes it's just that shift of, like me saying let go, or like just getting into the body and noticing, there's some tension here. That's a good sign that I've got really caught up in something I'm thinking about. And to be present to that can be quite helpful. I think it's quite grounding into the present moment when we, and again, it's just shifting the attention somewhere other than a ranty story in the head.
Yeah. That's a really good point, because there's, when we have something come up that we're having such a visceral response to, like our body is tense, our body is like whatever's going on in our bodies, it's, if we allow it to just move through, it does. First of all, you're right, it takes the attention away from the thought itself, but it allows you to emote whatever it is to emote. What it happens is your body naturally relaxes, because you're not trying to sort of hold it all together or prevent it from coming out, showing up in some way, emoting. I just, had a conversation with someone recently about how they were avoiding feeling, avoiding even going there. It's like, oh, yeah, we are made for it. We're made for it. So, and when we allow it to put, well, what happens when we emote? It's like, it is like a flow. It happens on its, when we just, kind of allow it to happen, however it's going to happen. It is like a river. It does kind of flow. You don't have to force it, right? You just let it do its thing. And often it doesn't carry on very far before it's like, oh, that's it? Like, I'm emoted. It's like, I feel good now. I feel, like something happens. Something happens when we let our system, our bodily, our form system, allow us to move this energy through. It's natural. It's not something to try and do anything with.
Yeah, and who's doing the letting go?
Indeed.
That's like a conversation.
Right.
Who is there to? Because it would be thought that says there's letting go to be done. It'd be thought. It's all thought, isn't it? Like thoughts there, and then thoughts saying, "Let's let go of this thinking," or never ending. But really, like you said, the whole system is in flow all the time. It's just we can be on that platform, literally watching Crazy Train go past over and over again. And of course, as human beings, often get on a crazy train just for the bloody hell of it. because we do. Like,
we do.
Still have a good old rant about people. Maybe certain people, just like 1 or 2 people in my life who I can get a proper rant about. But yeah, and we will, and I think that's useful for people to know, is not to
Mm,
yourself up if you're getting on the train off to Crazy Town, because it's okay, that's normal, it's human.
yeah. And yes, it is. And there's always another moment, you know,
And
to
you'll
do something
stop,
different.
and you'll stop getting on when you realise to
Mm,
stop getting on. You can't
yeah.
start to happen. It has to happen from a realisation, an insight, rather
Yes.
than from anything else.
Yeah. And it does happen less and less, you know.
Definitely.
And then it'll pop up out of the blue, maybe when it hasn't happened for such a long time and you thought that was done. And then all of a sudden it happens again. It's like, and that's okay. And don't get caught up in that. Because I do hear a lot of people getting caught up. Oh my God, I thought I was so much further along. And now this is happening. It's okay. It's okay. That's part of it. That's part of our experience. And it's all right. You know? Yeah.
Normal.
Carry on. Normal.
Well, whatever that is.
Yeah.
Fabulous. That was
That's very good. Yeah.
Mm.
Thank you. Thank you for that. That's good.
I'll see you next time.
We'll do. Take care of you.
Okay. Lots of love. Bye.